Origin is knocking on the door, and round 13 is littered with team list asterisks. As Team List Tuesday this week is not just about who has been named, it's all about who is going to back up from Origin, who will get rested, who's carrying niggles, and who's going to be on ice, and which clubs are suddenly going to be holding their breath up until game day and an hour before kickoff. But before we do get into the club list, we will start with Origin. As always, though, if you love your rugby league, make sure to hit like on the video, hit subscribe on the channel, and press that bell icon down below. That'll give you a notification each and every time we drop an episode here on the Chris McPherson Show. But today's Team List Tuesday, Rugby League Daily. We start with Origin, and the biggest news floating around town, obviously, is a big out for New South Wales. Mitchell Moses confirmed with a minor hamstring issue at Blues training. It's another brutal Origin blow for Moses after he's missed key games in previous series. Ethan Strange is the man named to replace him. The man from the entrance and out of the Canberra Raiders was set to make his Origin debut. And it's a massive leap of faith from Laurie Daly in the young Raider. It also puts Canberra's round 13 team list under the microscope because Strange has still been named to back up for the Raiders. Matt Burton moves on to the extended bench for New South Wales. And on top of that injury of Moses, we've also got Stephen Crichton on watch. But the expectation is that he will play for the Bulldogs. That matters massively because Burton's named in the starting side for them on the weekend, and Crichton is on the extended bench for their Saturday clash with the Tigers. So if Burton gets game time, Crichton maybe carries that injury into the Origin game as well. They may be question marks around backing up. That's Wednesday night. Thursday night, we've got Women's Origin Game 3. New South Wales have already sealed the series, and the Maroons were hit by a triple injury blow to add salt to the wounds. Tamika Upton is ruled out with an SC joint and neck issue. It's a huge blow. She is the heart of their team. Fullback, co-captain, one of Queensland's most dangerous attacking players. Destiny Minnow-Senapati comes in and will make her Origin debut to replace Upton. Julia Robinson also out of that backline sideline with a foot stress fracture. Shanae Sisiolka will be promoted into the starting side onto the wing, while Mackenzie Wheel is ruled out with a cheekbone fracture. Lillian Yarrow comes on the interchange bench also for her Origin debut. New South Wales, they're stable. John Strange is named an unchanged 17 after the Blues won the opening 2 games of the series, so the contrast is clear. Queensland are reshuffling under injury pressure, while New South Wales are rolling with combinations and momentum. And I tell you what, it could be an absolutely huge couple of days in the Strange household. Dad John could lead New South Wales to the first clean sweep in 3-game Origin history in the women's competition, while Ethan will make his debut on Wednesday night, his young son. So there you go, a big week in the Strange household. But let's flip on to NRL team list round 13, and we start with the Sharks and the Seagulls. Big one first off the top for the Sharkies. Nico Hines out of action with a calf injury, which means Niwai Puru will start at halfback alongside Braden Trindle. Blake Brayley is named to back up. He will be back in clubland after that concussion, of course. He will potentially have to get through Origin first, named on the 6-man bench for New South Wales. Cameron McInnes returns from an ankle injury. He will start at lock in his 100th game for the Sharks. Cronulla have also named those Origin players, Brayley, Fanua Blake and Nickera, all 3 in the starting side, but obviously backup watchers for Origin. Manly, Lehigh Hopewadi is back. He returns from suspension and starts on the wing. Hamole Olakawatu and Tolutau Kola are named in the reserves. Both are Origin backup watchers, with the final call to be made post-Origin 1. Ben Trbojevic has been cleared. His HIA was reclassified from Category 1 to Category 2 with no concussion diagnosis. So the Sharks lose their chief organiser in Hines, but they regain Brayley and McInnes, 2 big pluses. Manly's whole story is really going to be that focus on Origin watch. Both sides here will have a number of question marks as to who backs up and who slots in. We go to the Knights and the Eels, and for Newcastle, Kalen Ponga has been named to back up from Origin on Saturday. Jacob Safidi also named to back up. Justin Holbrook otherwise sticks with the same starting side that knocked over the Titans at Magic Round a couple of weeks ago. Tom Kent does come in as the new face on the 6-man interchange. For Parramatta, Mitchell Moses is a scratching with that hamstring injury. Ronald Volkman will take over at halfback. Joash Papali'i moves to 5'8". Isaiah Iongi is back and returns from the ankle injury he suffered in round 4. He'll go straight back to fullback, while Kidione Katoga is back as well, returns from a knee injury and is named in the back row. The big out for them, though, Junior Paulo, out of action, set to miss around 8 weeks after an arthroscopic procedure on his right knee due to a chronic injury. Jack Williams will move to prop and captain the side in the absence of Moses and Paulo. The Eels are heavily disrupted. No Moses, no Paulo. The Knights have stability, but will need Origin players to back up properly. The Knights at home in front of a pretty healthy crowd in Newcastle. You'd have to think they'll start as warm favourites, and I think they'll get the job done. Next up, we've got the Tigers and the Bulldogs. And for the Tigers, this is one of the biggest return lists of the week. Jareem Buller is back, named to return after 3 games out with a shoulder injury. Api Coruscant back as well, comes back from suspension at hooker. Alex Twal is back in and starts in the 13. Hemasai Makasini back as well. He's listed to start in the centres after returning from a foot injury. And Taylor May, well, he's on the other side of this. He's out with a shoulder ligament injury and not expected back to about round 16 or 17. Patrick Herbert's out with a suspension. Still, he'll be out of action until round 15. The changes, Luke Lalili drops out. Faletino Tavana comes onto the wing. And Sunya Taruva moves into the centres, which will be part of that backline reshuffle with Bull back at fullback. For the Dogs, Jacob Preston, his tough week continued after not being selected in Origin. He then broke his forearm on the weekend. Had surgery. He's expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks with an expected return of around about round 20. That means Jamin Salmon moves to the second row. Harry Hayes will start at lock. Josh Curran is back and returns to the NRL side after playing New South Wales Cup last week. Connor Tracy named on an extended bench, but might be a fair question mark after pushing to return from a hamstring injury that was expected to keep him out till at least next week. Stephen Crichton named on the extended bench, obviously an Origin watch piece, expected to play, but he'll be monitored post-Origin. And Matt Burton is named at 5'8" for the Dogs. In the Origin conversation after the Moses injury, Laurie Daly could play a late switcheroo. He's on the extended bench there in the six-man bench, so we'll wait and see what comes of that. But the Tigers, well, look, they get their spine and middle stabilisers back. The Bulldogs lose a major edge forward in Preston and have Origin uncertainty around Crichton and Burton. They'll be up and about after that win over the Storm last week, but I think this is a massive opportunity for the Tigs to get this one done in a maybe an 8 to 10 pointer. Next up, we've got the Storm in the doldrums. They've got Cameron Munster named to back up after Origin, as are Harry Grant and Trent Luero. All three return to the starting side after Origin duty as named. Wait and see how they get through the game. Sean Bloor is out of action with HIA protocols after last Friday night's loss to the Bulldogs. He expected to be a week of absence. Alex McDonald will start in the back row, direct replacement for Bloor, and Keegan Russell-Smith is listed in the reserves, probably as cover for Munster should he not be able to back up. For the Roosters, there is a huge Origin watch here. James Tedesco, Victor Radley, Reece Robson, Robert Toyer, Lindsay Collins, Sam Walker. All of them have been named with final fitness calls to be made after Origin 1. Billy Smith is back, long-awaited return from a knee injury. Named on the wing, Daniel Tupou is out, a calf strain from Magic Round, lost to the Cowboys. Not quite sure on how long that's going to be. We're still waiting on confirmation. Cody Ramsey is named. He returns after clearing concussion protocols without missing this game due to last week's bye. And Victor Radley, well, he missed Magic Round through suspension. He's named to start at lock with Connor Watson shifting back to the interchange, but again, he'll have to get through his Origin debut. This game has a massive Origin asterisk. Storm are watching Munster, Grant and Liero. Roosters could be watching half of their starting 13, basically 6 players in action. There are some allowances for naming a longer extended reserves list with the Origin piece. You've got multiple players named, so certainly the NRL has been, I guess, generous would be one word, but cognizant of the load carrying with that. So that'll certainly be interesting. The Broncos against the Dragons. Oh, apologies, we'll go back to that one. The Roosters get that one done comfortably for mine, even if only a few of their players back up. The Broncos versus the Dragons. Well, Brisbane, they've got some big backs in. Payne Haas headlines the returning players. A huge inclusion. First game back since that round 7 knee injury. Brendan Piakura is back as well. Jack Gosiewski is back. Grant Anderson's back from a knee injury, named on the bench. Again, Origin watch being an asterisk across this side. Katoni Staggs, Ezra Mam, Gaumat Shikabasaki, and Patrick Carrigan, all named and will be monitored. The one definite we know, Jordan Ricky, out of action with a foot issue, managing his plantar fascia issues ongoing. So he will be out of action. For the Dragons, they welcome back Moses Sully from a back injury, Jacob Little from a hamstring injury. Christian Tuipulotu's out with a hamstring injury, straight return there. And Jaden Sewer out with a calf injury. Hayden Buchanan's got a shoulder injury that's going to rule him out. Matt Feagai will come onto the wing. Damien Cook is named despite coming off early against the Wars with an ankle injury. Broncos get genuine power back through the middle with Payne Haas and Brenton Piakura. But for the Dragons, they do get Sully and Little back, but lose some more edge and backline depth. And I say it each and every week. I haven't seen enough from the Dragons yet. I saw some glimpses last week against the Warriors, but it was far from enough to even consider tipping them despite all of this. And with Payne Haas back, I think the Broncos run rampant, and this will be a comprehensive victory for Brisbane at home. That then brings us on to the Raiders and the Cowboys. Well, for the Raiders, Ethan Strange and Hudson Young are both named to back up from Origin. So that'll be, again, a watch and wait. Seb Chris is back. He missed the Dolphins game with a quad injury that he suffered in the warm-up. Jaden Brayley is out with a concussion. Dane Laurie will start at lock, a direct reshuffle from Brayley. Adam Mariota and Jed Stewart revert to the interchange after starting last week. And Jordan Utah keeps his bench spot after making a solid NRL debut last week. Ruben Cotter for the Cowboys is named to back up from Origin. He will start at lock. Jason Taumalolo moves to prop. Matt Lodge moves to the bench. Murray Taulagi is back, returns from a concussion layoff with Robert Darby moving to the interchange. The Raiders are another team living with Origin asterisk. The Cowboys get Taulagi back and may get Cotter backing up, which changes the middle battle. It'll be interesting to see what comes there. This one, I feel like you're going to go to the Cowboys, but I like the Raiders at home, and I think, especially if Hudson Young and Ethan Strange can have positive games in Origin and then back up into this one, I think the Raiders might be in for an upset. Next one, two of the form teams in the competition. Panthers host the Warriors. The Panthers have named their Origin stars in the reserves. Again, an extended squad for them. Nathan Cleary, Isaiah Yeo, Casey McLean, not Casey McGuire, Laurie Daly, and Brian Toto. All will be monitored. But Liam Martin is back, returns from a knee injury after 5 games out. Jack Cogger named in the 7. If Cleary doesn't back up, Cogger will steer the side. Lindsay Smith has been named at lock and will start there if Yo's rested or comes off the bench. Isaac Tungo and Luke Garner are named in the centres for now until the Origin backup picture clears. For the Warriors, RTS is out. His season and his rugby league career in the NRL is over after injuring the knee against the Dragons. Heartbreaking to think, after all that he has done at that club, that he won't be able to finish on his own terms, but that is, I guess, the way the game washes up. Adam Pompey comes into the centre as a direct replacement. Marata Niokore comes onto the bench, replacing Eddie Ayarima Toiva, who's out with concussion. Luke Metcalf named in the reserves, potentially pushing for his first NRL game since round 5, the man who has headed to the Dragons. Interestingly, Mitch Barnett has not been named for the Warriors, so that will be very interesting. Obviously, playing it safe with their Origin prop. But the Panthers are almost impossible to read, as we said. Warriors lose RTS for the season. It's a massive blow on and off the field. This one's in Oz. I'm going to lead into the Panthers getting the job done here. But that's kind of the team list for this week. Not a whole lot to come out of the Judiciary. A few fines for Tamari Martin, Jalen de Groot, and Max King. But round 13, look, it's going to be one of the hardest weeks for tipping all year. The Tuesday team lists are important, but the real teams may not lock in until after Origin recovery. With extra players in camp, that means extra players that are on watch and wait lists. Biggest watchers will be Ethan Strange's Origin debut, Stephen Crichton carrying that injury. Expected to play for the Blues. Can he back up? The Sharks, no Nico Hines. Parramatta, depleted. No Moses, no Paulo. Penrith's got an Origin quartet sitting in the reserves. What does Ivan Cleary do? And Payne Haas back for Brisbane. That is a huge one. It's also a consideration for the Blues as to how he gets through that game. Drop your tips below. Let us know who is your smoky for an upset this weekend. But maybe write them in pencil because there could be changes just yet. As always, a big thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit like on the video. Hit subscribe on the channel. We look forward to seeing you back here for another Rugby League Daily or any of our other content very, very soon.